I want to be there to help you guys in any way that I can. But before we go over all of the ideas from today, I want to just first emphasize the fact that it's a Monday. And I know that we all want to trade. Everybody wants to trade. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video. That's why you're at your desk trying to get into this skill. But you have to remember that want to trade, the market doesn't care about it. So if you have a system of rules that you can follow, a process that you can follow that's proven profitable, that's the only thing that matters, is following that process regardless of how you feel, how much you want, or what the market is even doing. It's always about the process. So the first thing we're going to look at is Euro JPY. We'll talk about this since this was my main focus this morning. With this pair, as you can see, I'm still waiting for an entry. We're getting to the end of my trading session, like I said, so I'm probably going to be flat on this today. But what we can do now is watch this overnight and use it to create a bias tomorrow. The reason why I wasn't able to get a signal here today, two main things. Number one, notice the 8 and 21 EMAs are in a downshift. The 8 is under the 21, which is a signal for a short-term downtrend. I would not want to go long anywhere here because it'll be a lower probability long setup compared to if we were in an upshift like this, where the 8 is above the 21. Looking to go long here makes a lot more sense when you're in that short-term uptrend. So that's the first thing. The second thing that's important to note is just that this TDI is falling. See how that yellow market sentiment line is falling into the stationary 50 value? That's coming into consolidation, accumulation. We call it reset. So with that falling, it could be better. That's the question we always want to ask. It could be better if it was flat or rising. And the third thing that we have to just give awareness to is this pennant formation that's formed here. We could draw it like this using the pin here, right? This pennant that's formed, very, very, very rarely will you hear me trust pennant formations, because more often than not, they will fake the breakout and then move in the real direction after they move. With a potential pop, they'll end up making a move lower in this situation. If this does that, I wouldn't be surprised. Is it going to do that? I don't want to say yes because the TDI is still in the buy zone. I still would not be surprised more if it didn't move higher today. So with all of that, I haven't taken the position on Euro JPY. At the same time, CHF JPY had a very similar idea. This was a lower probability setup, and this is probably the most valuable thing that you can get from today's video. When you have a lower probability setup, no matter how it moves, whether it works or it doesn't work for your idea, this one works. If it's a lower probability setup, it's important to just zoom out and keep the bigger picture on your mind. Meaning, over 10, 15, 20 trades, will this still be a winning trade, being a lower probability setup? The answer is probably no. And that's why no matter what, even though CHF JPY moved higher today, for about 2R from this D1 idea, no matter what, I still would favor trading Euro JPY because it has less knocks against it. It's a higher probability setup. So why is this a low probability setup? First, you have to notice that it is overbought today. That's the most important thing, just that we take note of. It's easy to see. It hit over 70. It's overbought. Second, probably more important than that, is that it maxed out ADR. You see from the pin low to the high here set in the London session, it hit its 60 pip ADR. So if we're trading from the 50, we know that we already maxed out ADR. We know it doesn't have to go back to this high. It could come a little bit short like it does here and finish the day sideways. It definitely could do that. And now look at how Euro JPY looks, very sideways. It wouldn't surprise me now if it did that for the rest of the day. But either way, together, these two ideas, CHF JPY and Euro JPY, both have good L50s that create the long bias. So then it's just a matter of coming and figuring out which one is the highest probability. Today, a lower probability entry ends up moving about 2R. 10 of those, they won't all be winners. Euro JPY, if we would have gotten a good signal, 10 of these would probably be winners because you have less knocks against you in the overall setup. Now let's move over to Euro NZD. Euro NZD had two potential entries. Neither of them really I liked at all. I said to the group chat, I was like, my gut says don't short Euro NZD today because, let me just explain it to you. First, you can see this two candle formation I have boxed in. If we draw a line across from the Asian session low, it is still in the Asian range. With it being still in the Asian range and the TDI being very close to the 50 value, see how it is right there, and even here at the time of the entry, it's very close to that dotted line, that 50 value. That 50 value is the reset, the accumulation level. So if the TDI is near accumulation and we're still in the Asian range, how can you take that trade? It could be an accumulation all day, which is exactly what it's doing. So instead of jumping in short there, it's important to wait. Even on the waiting, as it pulls back after the breakout of the Asian session and you look to take it short, you can't take this 3-candle formation short because the bodies are not touching the 21 EMA. So with the bodies not on the 21 EMA, that is not a proper A1 formation. And notice what happens. It ends up coming higher and would stop you out. Why? Because it's not a proper formation. It's that simple. The A1 breakout, we've tested it so many times over so many years, over so many pairs. When you see potential A1 signals that aren't that great, but they could be, more often than not, they end up stopping you out. More often than not. Some of them will still work. For example, if you look at GCAD, this one's not off the 21 EMA at all. And this one, see how it moves higher all night? This 2-candle formation had a good TDI value, but again, that candle is not on the 21. I can't take this long. I don't know if it's going to be like Euro NZD and come down and be choppy. You've got to be particular and consistent in the way that you're doing your analysis and the way that you're following the rules. So here on GCAD, this wouldn't be an entry. I can't catch this move. The way to easily justify that to yourself is to just say it's not my pips. There's plenty of moves everywhere all week. Remember last week, I waited Monday and Tuesday, didn't take a single trade. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, found 3 winning positions. If you rush into something, especially at the beginning of a week, it sets a terrible taste in your mouth for the rest of the week. Whereas if you're patient, you let Monday build some trend, you identify where you maybe could have found risk, you try to learn something from the day, you come in on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to do a lot better. So far, the biggest lesson of the day, let's talk about one more, Euro USD, coming lower here. So this could have been long biased. Ryan Gura was back in the coaches chat with me this morning. It's always good to work with him. And he was saying, look, Euro USD has a TDI in the buy zone. What did we just talk about though? Reset. See how that L50 is in reset? So that's the first thing I don't like about it. The second thing, more important than that, is this bearish divergence on top that sets the high, that sets the resistance. How many times was that resistance tested? Once, twice, 3 times, at least. To trade long off the 21 EMA here can make sense. That can be a decent 2-candle formation. If the TDI was a little higher, not in reset, and if we had broken above this horizontal level. If this was above a horizontal key level and we were trading off the key level, like let's say we were up here trading off of it, it would make way more sense. But when you have not just a key level from the pins, but it's got bearish divergence and that's what sets the key level, those pins from the divergence structure are very solid levels that I would not trade into. I would only trade after they're broken. That's the way that I look at this, and that's why I was never long Euro USD, and I'm glad to be not in it. This is super valuable, so I'm hoping that this right here you guys can learn something from. If that helped you at all, give me a thumbs up on the video so I know that it's helping. So that was Euro JPY, CHF JPY, Euro NZD, and Euro USD. Flat for me today. Totally flat, nothing to trade, but a ton of lessons, a ton of value just looking over those 4 pairs. So I hope that that brings you guys a little insight into how we trade at ASFX. And if you have any questions about the A1, the D1, the D2, the systems that I'm mentioning in this video, just click the link in the description. I'll put a link in the chat if you're watching this live, and you can go check that out. You can, read testimonials from traders that have taken the courses. You could probably ask a bunch of people here in the chat right now and see what they're saying because we've got a lot of ASFX members in there already, and they'll give you feedback. So if you're struggling with your trading, implementing more precise rules is the only thing that we can do to get you back on track. So I'll put the link in the chat. You guys can check that out for the starter pack. Yeah, see? I'm ready for the start learning the D1. Divergence course is next on my list. I love that. Cool. All right, fam. So it's been a good hour and a half. We talked about a lot of important things this morning. Euro JPY is coming down. This is where we'll end the stream today. You can see it coming down through the 50. So it's 10 o'clock. I'm done my session. We'll pick it back up tomorrow. I'll be back later tonight to do my markups, and then I'll share some of my markups maybe with the VIP. For those of you that are VIP members already, if you're in ASFX, keep your eye on the Facebook group. I'm going to have an event scheduled where we're going to host a free webinar for members only to go deeper into the D1. I've got some precise details with the way that I've been taking my entries and testing it that I want to share with you that's going to help you not get into D1s as quickly and to get into them with tighter risk, tighter stop losses, better risk reward. So that's the thoughts there. Doge is down 13% now. Good luck if you're holding that bag. You're welcome, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.